Welcome to Life in My Greenhouse. Today, we are making the ultimate bread recipe for sandwich lovers. If you're a sandwich enthusiast, then this is the perfect recipe for you. It's easy and customizable. This bread recipe comes together so quickly, and it is absolutely delicious. Crusty on the outside and soft and fluffy on the inside. Does that remind you of someone? Okay, without further ado, let's take your sandwiches to a whole new level. Making homemade bread is easier than you think, and now that you have this recipe, you'll be able to make bread every day if you choose. Our ingredients are everyday pantry staples. We're going to be using flour, salt, water, and yeast. You can also add a tablespoon of sugar if you choose. However, sugar is not necessary to make this bread. In total, you'll only need about 5 minutes of kneading time. The magic of this recipe is using time to your benefit. You have the option to bring all the ingredients together and let it rest overnight. You can then resume baking the following morning. This recipe is easily customizable, and if you decide that you want to have fresh baked bread every day for your sandwiches, then this ultimate sandwich lover's bread recipe will fit perfectly into your scheduled daily bread routine. Now, if you're baking along with me, you'll need to warm your water. We are using 1.5 cups of warm water. In a large bowl, add 3¼ cups of flour. Then add 2 teaspoons of salt. Then go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast. If you're not sure if your yeast is still alive, I would say go ahead and proof it by putting it in water and sprinkle a little sugar on it just to activate the yeast. If the yeast gets bubbly and starts to foam up, then you know that your yeast is still alive. The worst thing you can do is make bread and then it not rise because your yeast is not active, and so you want to make sure that it is. If you have full confidence in your yeast, then add it directly to the bowl. If you'd like to add some sugar, you can go ahead and add a tablespoon of sugar to the bowl. Next, drizzle a tablespoon of olive oil into your bowl. I find that this allows your bread to really stay moist. Not that the bread is going to last very long in your kitchen, but this actually just helps to keep it nice and moist. To all our new subscribers, thank you so much for watching our videos. I really appreciate your support. It means the world to me to know that you're taking time out of your day to watch my content. So thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. Now go ahead and add 1.5 cups of warm water to your bowl. Now I like to use a dough whisk at first to incorporate the ingredients, but if you don't have one on hand, you can go ahead and use your hands to mix it all together. Once the dough comes together, you can set that aside and use your hands to mix it all together. And again, it doesn't require a lot of kneading. Less than 5 minutes should get the job done. At this point, your dough will start to get really smooth looking. Now go ahead and cover your bowl with a kitchen towel or a bowl cover. I prefer to use the bowl covers because they're reusable. If you're not sure where to find one, I will leave the links in the description. Now place your bowl in the warmest part of the kitchen. I usually put it in the oven with the light on. Your dough will double in size. Go ahead and deflate the dough as we get ready to shape it into a ball. Sprinkle some flour on your surface area. Flatten out your dough on the floured surface. We'll keep the method of shaping your dough very simple. In order to make your daily bread, the process can't be difficult. The more complicated the method, then the least likely you'll do it consistently. Once you master the technique of this recipe, I guarantee this is something that you can whip out any day of the week. Fold both sides of the dough into the center, then pinch the center to close the gap. Starting at the top of your dough, roll the dough towards you. Roll the dough under and into itself. For us to make an ultimate sandwich bread recipe that we can use daily, The process shouldn't be complicated, so let's keep it simple. When it all comes together, your dough ball should be fairly smooth. Once it's shaped into a ball, leave it on the counter and let it rest for 30 minutes. At this point, you'll want to turn on your oven to 450 degrees, and you'll also want to put in your cast iron pot and lid to heat up as well. Then place your dough ball on a sheet of parchment paper lined with cornmeal. Cover with a kitchen towel and let it rest for 30 minutes. Bake your bread for 30 to 35 minutes. Halfway through, remove your lid for a golden and crusty finish. Once your bread is golden and crusty, it's time to let it cool. And wait, this, remember, is the hard part. Give it a little bit of time to cool down. I'd say about 10 minutes. If you can just hold on for 10 minutes, maybe 15, I promise you, it'll be worth it. Now that you have your fresh baked bread, you can keep it simple and just drizzle with a little bit of olive oil, crack a little bit of salt and pepper, and it is perfect. Spread a little hummus. You can really customize it. You know how to do a sandwich. That's why you're here. And so go ahead, make it your own. Customize until your heart's content. Now that you have the perfect bread, you can make the ultimate sandwich. You now have all the tools you need to make it yourself at home. And you may not actually buy store-bought bread after this. Sorry, Dempsters, not sorry. Nothing is more nostalgic than the smell of fresh baked bread. The perfect complement to a garden harvest. We have been blessed with a harvest of heirloom tomatoes from the greenhouse. Look how juicy those are. And so I'm so happy to be able to include it in my sandwich. If you love gardening, go ahead and check out my garden playlist. I'll continue to add new content with gardening tips and what's growing on in the greenhouse. If this is your first time stopping in, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm giving you 2 green thumbs up for making it to the end. As a thank you for watching this recipe, I've added a recipe card with all the ingredients for you right here. I really enjoy spreading the love by sharing recipes that my family enjoy. In order to continue to allow me to spread love one meal at a time, and give this video a thumbs up so YouTube will recognize that you enjoyed my content. Please partner with me by sharing this recipe with a friend. Listen, thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to let me know in the comments what you think of this recipe. Take care of yourself, my beloveds, and each other, and remember, the grass is always greener where you water it. See you next time.